Hey guys, so today I'm down at Thompson & Smith with the absolute pleasure of taking out this Cayman 718S for a review. And this is a 2.5 litre 4-cylinder 350 horsepower version, so I'm really excited to take this out and give it a quick spin. But you guys know the drill by now, let's take a quick look around and then let's go for a drive. Now it has that gorgeous modern Porsche Cayman rear, and this one comes in the jet black, which I think just looks stunning. It has that aggression and almost mysteriousness that I think black cars come with. This car in particular also comes with the diamond cut 20-inch 911 turbo 4 wheels, which have just recently been refurbished and also brand new tyres put on, and they just enhance the whole look of the car. And as you can see together, it just looks stunning. And obviously you've got the beautiful spoiler there that we did put up. Now inside, it's your typical Porsche. There's all that German quality there, down to the Alcantara on the steering wheel, to things like the Porsche crest embossed there on the armrest, and of course the gorgeous leather sport seats. Now the cockpit itself obviously is a gorgeous place to be. You've got the white chrono contrast on the dials there, and just everything screams quality, and that's just what you get with Porsche. So you actually have quite a reasonable storage size in this car. I mean, you can fit a couple of suitcases in there easily for a weekend away, if not even a week. So quite impressed, and obviously it's a Porsche, so it's at the front of the car. Can we just appreciate the key as well? If you look, it's in the shape of the car. Or is that me imagining things? But I think it is. It's very cool. So my love of cars first started with Porsche, so I'm really excited to give this one a go. Now this is the PDK box, so it's automatic 7-speed transmission, but it can come in the 6-speed manual. So keyless entry, so all I have to do is just turn this and that starts up that engine, which even though it is 4 cylinders, it doesn't sound bad at all. I think it's kind of still got that throaty Porsche sound, but obviously a lot of Porsche enthusiasts do miss the 6-cylinder, but it's all about that performance. So let's see what that's like. So the PDK box is actually quite friendly. I mean, some different types of automatics can be a little bit jumpy, where you have nothing on the throttle yet. You put a tiny little bit down and the whole car jumps forward, especially in those higher power cars. This is quite friendly and approachable. Now already inside, it is so comfortable, and I mean, you've got lots of space, but you still feel like you're in a sports car. The steering wheel is a brilliant size, it's not too big, and it just holds lovely and gives you that true driver's focus. Obviously Porsche is known for having real sports driving focused cars, and already I can see that in this car. The dials are really clear, they're not distractive. You do have the little digital one to the right, which at the moment is set to matte, which I think is really helpful because you're not distracted by looking at your sat nav, but it's all focused towards the driver. Now it's a mid-engined rear-wheel drive, and personally that's a perfect combination of car. Porsche have really kept with that throughout the years, and obviously they know you can't go wrong with it, so why change it? So even normal type of driving like slow speeds, it's so easy to do. It's where the Cayman really comes into its own, because if you want that sports car that you can use on the daily, or if you want it as your weekend car, you can have it as both, and it's so versatile that it suits anyone and everyone. Obviously it's a Porsche, and you can tell that from when you're in it. The quality of everything you touch and see is just spot on, and you can't go wrong with Porsche at all. I think they know what they're doing and they do it right every time. Now this car is currently up for just shy of £50,000, and for a Cayman with only 15,000 miles on the clock and a 2017 plate, it's a really fair price for what you're getting. Thompson & Smith have also just spent £2,000 on the car, with things like the refurb on the wheels and the new tyres all around, but also it's just been serviced with Porsche Hull. Woo! Oh, I love it! Love it, love it, love it! I know quite a few people are really not sure on it being the 4-cylinder, but that engine's got some pull. It really has some pull. In the mid-rev range, it seems to be at its happiest. This car would be fantastic for a weekend away. I'd quite happily drive forever in this car. It's so planted, you feel so safe on the roads. You've got no worry of oversteer or anything in traditional settings. Obviously on a track, I think this car again would perform so well. It's a little bit heavier than some of your track cars, but it's got the power there under your foot that it's really performed really well. Now 0 to 60 on this car is 4.2 seconds, so not too shabby at all, and you can see why when you do put your foot down there's so much pull there. There's not any issue with traction at all in this car. It seems to grip up so easily. It'd be so much fun to take this on a track and really find the limits of the car, because you're not going to do that on the road. You can't with most cars, but you think something that's maybe a bit rear wheel drive, anything like that, you might have a bit of issue. But I think anyone, your Joe Bloggs, to get in this car and drive it well, and just brings you so much pleasure. I think one thing I can definitely say is I want one. And I'd be quite happy with this as my daily car, or as my weekend car, or just a bit of both. I love it. Some of its competitors are things like the BMW M2. Price-wise, the M2 may come in a little bit cheaper, but I think even though BMW have a really high quality standard, somehow Porsche seem to exceed that, and I don't understand how they do it, but they do. And you could just feel so special sat in this car, whereas in an M2 you kind of still sat in a 2 Series, but in this you know you're in something special, and I love that about it. The nice thing about the Cayman 718, and especially this one being in the black as well, it's not too flashy. Obviously, if you want something that you do want to still use, which is what having a car is all about, you want something you're not going to be scared about leaving in a car park or worried that everyone's going to be staring at you everywhere. This, it's eye-catching for sure, but it's also, if you want to kind of lay low, it's possible. The suspension as well is beautiful, so you'll have a lot of feel and response through the steering wheel, and you know kind of what the car's doing. Even though it is giving you great performance around the bends, it's also comfortable, and it, again, they've just found that nice in-between of having that sports car but also making it usable. I feel like it's very classy. I think the jet black with the turbo alloys and all the little extra bits on it, like the sports chrono pack, it's just, I feel very respectable in this car. And even though, like you say, you've got all the performance, power, sportiness, etc., it's a nice car. It's, end of the day, it's a nice car. It doesn't look in your face, it doesn't look chabby, it's just lovely. Of course, we're going to have a better look of the inside. I love the whole aspect of the steering wheel. It is just stunning. Again, driver's focused, I keep saying it, but it really, really is. Even down to things like these little buttons here, the way they're little balls that just turn. It's just, they've thought of everything and they've really made it something special. Like I mentioned before, you've got the digital dash here that you can see things like maps, etc., which I think is a really nice touch. And then just in the centre, you've got things like the embossed Porsche crest there, which is just spectacular, really. You've got your PDK box, everything that you need here with all the temperature things. And also look at the quality of the nav system. You've got everything you need from phone, which I don't want to connect just yet, but also media and Bluetooth, sat nav, everything that you'd need from a car. And of course, I'll tell you what, we need to turn that on, don't we? The spoiler button there, which is just typical with Porsche, and I love it. Okay, so let's get going again. So we're going to put it down into drive, and I believe it's a cross into manual. I've also found the sport response button, so let's see what that does as well. So what they've done with the 4-litre engine is put in the same engine as what's in the new Boxster S. And I think they just know it's reliable, but it does kind of make the Boxster S its own rival, which is a bit strange, but I just love the Cayman. I'm a Cayman fan. This car has a ton of optional extras, down to things like rear parking sensors. It's got a fancy little camera as well, which obviously is always handy to have. And it's so friendly. The manual on the PDK is brilliant. The flappies are so easy to get to, and again, you feel the quality in them, but it's just so responsive. The steering is incredibly responsive. You can just adjust it slightly and it will do what you need it to do. And actually, even though it is the 4-cylinder, it sounds really good, especially on that downshift. The brakes as well, they're very firm and they stop you in plenty of time. And I think on track, even though there is the ceramic brakes option that you can add onto these at new, I don't think you necessarily need it unless you really are kind of looking for that extra half a second here and there. With the Cayman, Porsche had a job to do and they needed a car to do it, and they've just smashed it out of the park. So it also has the PDLS Plus cornering headlights, heated steering wheel, reversing camera, reversing sensors. It's got all the extras that you would need off of it without spending stupid money, and I think that's why the price for this car in particular is so reasonable, is because you've got everything you need on it. I want to take it home. God damn it. Now, even though I said that it's not a shout out in your face kind of car, you still get quite a few looks at it, and quite a few people are like, that's a nice Porsche. And they're not wrong, it is a nice Porsche. So, to conclude my Porsche Cayman 718S review, I love it. I think it's fantastic. It's the perfect mixture of being able to daily drive but have a quick car, and just all of it all bundled into one. I love it. Obviously there's all the Porsche qualities, there's all the special parts there, and you do feel really, really special, and you feel like everything's been designed to make your experience the best it can be. Cornering wise, the nose goes where you want it to go. I think obviously the rear steering from the rear really helps with that, and just I don't want to get out. So yeah, to conclude my Porsche 718 Cayman S review, fantastic. I think the 4-cylinder engine's actually really great in it. The only thing it maybe lacks is the sound, if that's really if that's really going to be the be all and end all. But I think the performance of this one is just phenomenal, and you really can't fault it at all. There's no downside. I don't think I've even said a downside, because there really is none. It's just ideal. It's fantastic. So yeah, I'm gonna have to get out eventually, but again, a huge thank you to Thompson Smiths for letting me use it in their Porsche Cayman. Make sure you check them out. The link will be in the description below, but they've got a whole wide range of different cars available, from classics all the way to things like the Porsche and your daily drivers as well. So make sure you check them out, and if you want this car in particular, it is still for sale. Know the drill. To make my journey your journey, like, follow, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.